In our last video, we put in a stairwell and a stair. So here's our stair and an enclosure system for the stair, a 2-hour rating enclosure system. Now what we're going to do is come in and create interior partitions for the rest of the core of the building. And you'll see elevator, men's and women's restroom, storage, electrical, HVAC. And so to do that, I'm going to go into architecture and into walls, architectural walls, and I'm going to select an interior partition, in this case a 1 hour 4 7/8 partition, and we'll come up here and select that. Of course, if I wanted it on the other side, well, there's a couple of things I should do first. First of all, base constraint level 1, but the upper constraint I'm going to set to the second floor. The top constraint, no offset at this point, and so now I'm going to put the wall in. Oh, and set where it's going to be drawn from, and I'm going to say the finish face, interior finish face. And if I'd chosen wrong, all I had to do is just hit the tab key and I could have flipped it, right? But I just chose right. So I'm just going to come in here right now and just throw this wall in. And this is my general approach, is put the wall in, don't worry exactly where it's located, and then come back and move it to its ideal location. One thing I want to check is its relationship. Not that it goes up through the structure, but I just want to look at it. So I'm going to go to the finished floor plan of the structural plans. Oh, second floor, I'm sorry. The structure up above it. Okay. And we can see that I've already turned off the slab, so we can see the joist here, and this is where the wall is selected. So I'm going to move this right up against the beam here. So I'm just going to attach it to the edge of that beam. And so that'll get me started. That'll be good. Now we need some kind of general layout in here. And so I'm just going to start putting walls in, and then I'm going to measure them later. So I know I want a wall right here. So let's go from here to here. I know I want a wall there. Right now I'm just going to put another wall in right here. And I want a wall from here to here. And from here to here. And here to here. Now there's some general dimensions I want to set this up to be. So first of all, this is my elevator shaft, and let's just say I've done my research and I know that this is supposed to be, say, 10 feet wide, 8 feet deep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put another wall in here for the elevator, and I like to just come in and place dimensions. So you'll see it snaps me to the center of the wall. I hit the tab key and get there, and the tab key and hit there and go. So if this is supposed to be 8 feet here, I'm just going to come in here and modify this to 8 feet, and now it's 8 feet. I'm going to do the same thing with another dimension from here. Once again, the tab key to get the interior partition. And then this was supposed to be 10 feet, as I mentioned before. So I'm going to modify that. Move this to 10 feet. And then I want a hallway that's going to run, if we remember from my plan here, I want a hallway that's going to run this way, and that hallway is going to be 5 feet, so it'll meet code as well as ADA. So I'm going to put another dimension in, once again, to the exterior here and to the exterior there, and modify, move this wall to 5 feet. Okay, so it's starting to shape up now. I'm going to do the same thing down here, another dimension, tab, and this kind of goes on and on until I get it the way I want it. 5 feet here. And then this needs to be trimmed because this hallway needs to go to the door. All right. So I'm going to trim it up. Going to modify and trim. And so now I have my hallway, my basics. I still need my dimensions for my restrooms. There, I'm just going to go to 6 feet on the inside of each one of those. And once again, and then also I need a plumbing wall here. So the first thing I'm going to do is change this to a plumbing wall. Plumbing wall would probably be, could be 6 inches. I'm going to put a healthy one in there to have a lot of control. So I'm going to put a 12-inch plumbing wall. I don't have a plumbing wall really made right now. So what I'm going to do is just put a generic in there, and then I'll come back. So I'll just put an interior. There's a generic wall. And we want to make sure that's set to level 2. Okay, so now I have a 1-foot wall in there, and I'll come back and change that later. Not that important for design drawings. And so I'm going to put a dimension in here and put a dimension in here. And so let's just modify, and we'll move this so that this is 6 feet. And I'll know I'll have plenty of room. Same thing here. And we'll just let this room be whatever's left, which is fine. And then over here, we've got to divide this in half for two closets. And so I'm going to put in the wall. And let's put a dimension on it. So I can set now an easier way to do this. Let me show you an easier way to do this using dimensions. This is a pretty nice little technique. I'm going to just go in and put a dimension from here to here to here. And then what I'm going to do is, you see this equal sign right here? If you click on equal, it will make the dimensions here equal, and it'll move whatever object it's locked to that location. So I'm just going to click on equal here, and when I do that, if I unclick equal, you'll see that both of these volumes have been made identical. And that's a really quick and easy way to create partitions, windows, all kinds of things, any objects that you want evenly spaced from the first one to the last one. You can do the same thing, hit equal, and then it'll move the windows, doors, whatever. So now I'm probably going to come back and delete these dimensions, or many of them. I could leave them in for later reference. I'll leave that one in right now, and these I'll go ahead and dimension, and that one I'll leave in for right now. So there's a couple of things I need to do. First, let's say I want this elevator to have a shaft that goes up and down. So I'm going to go in here and create a shaft that goes through all the different surfaces. So I'm going to go shaft, and then I'm going to tell it to go to basement, yeah, and then the top constraint we'll set as finished ceiling right now of the 3rd floor, and I'm going to use a rectangle, snap to there and snap to there, and I could lock that to those surfaces. Okay, so I move them and then accept that, and you'll see that the concrete disappears because there's a hole being cut here. And of course, so now we've got all of our kind of interior partitions set in, and what we want to do is add doors, and I'm going to cover that in the next video.